Yeah, and your show is perfectly titled. Say yes.
Yeah.
You can just saying yes today doesn't mean that you can't change your mind tomorrow, or what will probably happen, adjust and modify based on what knowledge and input you get from having said yes. So say yes.
Yeah.
Say yes. There's a roof over your head. You got a car in the garage. You're driving at work. You got an espresso in your, a Starbucks in your hand. The world will be okay. The sky will not fall.
Life's
Okay.
pretty good.
Just say yes, Chicken Little. Say yes.
Yeah. Well, so that means you'll definitely say yes to another show. I know you got a busy morning, man. I appreciate you squeezing this in today. Where can people find out more about you, and where are you pushing out things? Because I think people are going to be fascinated by your history and the discovery process of learning more about you.
You're very kind, Jim. I appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you had a similar experience yesterday after you got off the phone, because I got off the train in LA at Union Station, and I kind of skipped down the tracks or the platform. I think people were looking at me kind of like weird, but so I'm glad we had a similar experience. You will trip all over me, but I mean, all you have to do is actually just type in the name in Google search. It's RAAD.
Yeah.
Sounds like ROD, ROD, but it's RAAD. And the last name is Ghantous, Ghant as in Tom, OUS. And the company's into the interior design company page is same thing, raadghantous.com. There's the RAAD Life, and I say that because jokingly everybody just wants to keep referring to it as it's RAAD Life, the RAAD Life on Facebook. We air on OC Talk Radio every Wednesday. OCTalkRadio.net is where you can catch us, or on YouTube, OC Talk Radio. And then, there's other shows too. The Check Out California show with my co-host, Craig Sullivan. And then today, the launch of this Selling the Lux Life. All of these shows have pages on Facebook. And if you are interested in being a guest, or you want to just, talk, I'm always open to saying yes and saying hi. So you can reach me on Google, on Gmail at RAAD, RAAD, Ghantous, GHANTOUS, at gmail.com. And like I said, you'll probably, the minute you enter that in Google search, you'll find out a lot. So please give us feedback. I'm always interested in what you think about this show. I love the exchange, Jim. I would be very honored to say yes to being on the show again. Absolutely. And likewise, I would like to have you on the show in November. So
yeah, well, I appreciate that offer, and I appreciate you being on. By the way, if you're listening,
yeah.
Rod's easy to get a hold of, because the second you type in RAAD_, he pops up all over the place. So don't hesitate to look him up, follow him. He's got a great Instagram. You can see some of that salt and pepper. Don't shave the beard, by the way. And listen, again, Rod, thank you for being on the show, and we look forward to more exchanges down the road.
It's my pleasure, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time and the opportunity, and definitely look forward to being on the show and seeing you in person probably soon, and we can sit down and have a conversation.
Cheers. Well, that is our show for the day. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Rod as much as I have. Appreciate the introduction from Rachel Savoda. She was on one of our earlier shows this year, and she's got a great network of people. That I met her through Eric Morley over at Blue Sea, and I just love, as we talked about in today's discussion, getting to know people and the value of that. So if you got any value from this, please share the show with your friends. Give us some comments, subscribe to us on iTunes. That all helps us keep this thing moving along. By the way, I gotta say, I've had some sponsors over the years in my off-road racing that have been very supportive of mine, and one of those sponsors is Rugged Radios. And these guys, they're not just for off-road use. They've got all kinds of recreational types of equipment, whether they're handheld radios, in-car radios, GPS units, and things like that. So if you haven't checked out Rugged Radios, I know I haven't mentioned them a lot on this show, but they've really been a great supporter, small business. I hope to get Greg, the owner, on here at one point, and he can share his story. So just keep them in mind. As I've always talked about on each and every show, David Meltzer, who's been my mentor this past year, I've really enjoyed getting to know him. He's got a book out called Connected to Goodness, which contains a lot of information in the same regards of what we talked about today. One of the things he always talks about is when you wake up in the morning, think about all the things that you have and how blessed you are, and write them down, and you would be surprised to find how great your life actually is and the things that you have. And again, my everyday notion and inspiration is what you believe is what you will achieve, from Mark Victor Hansen. Been thinking about that since the early 80s. Matter of fact, it worked for me this weekend. I raced the Spartan race. It was a beast, 13 miles, almost 14 miles, and 33 obstacles. Took first place of men over 50 on Sunday. So I'm actually suffering today physically from being sore and tired. But I envisioned that finish line. I took off at the start, and I just knew in my mind that that's where I was going to wind up. I had the confidence in the training from Jordan over there at HeartFit. And I just hope that you can apply some of those same principles in your life and know that you have the strength to accomplish anything that you put your mind to. So again, what you believe is what you'll achieve. Thanks for tuning in to this week's show. Look forward to delivering another great show to you next week. Take care.